My guest today is the Bachelor franchise veteran, Chris Bukowski, who also happens to be very much involved in the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin community. Chris started his Bachelor career back in 2012. He retired in 2015 and came back in 2019 to the Bachelor in Paradise and ended up getting engaged to Katie Morton. But believe it or not, there is more into Chris than just a record-breaking Bachelor franchise returnee. I know many of you guys are dying to know about the status of Chris's relationship with Katie, why they're not posting Instagram pictures together as often, whether or not the breakup rumors are true, and whether we'll see Chris back on the Bachelor franchise again. My name is Kiana Danial. I'm the founder of the Invest Diva movement and the author of a bunch of books in the field of investing and wealth and growing your money. And as a Bachelor's top fan, I'm dying to know the answers to all of these too, but I'm gonna pull a Chris Harisson here. Chris Bukowski and I are first going to talk about his foray into entrepreneurship. I'm gonna dig in the real reason why he went on The Bachelor back in 2012, how he got involved in Bitcoin and where he sees the community going, and then we'll get to the most dramatic episode of Diva on the Block with all the hot, juicy Bachelor stuff. I'll be grilling Chris to get the truth about him and Katie out. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, and share it with your friends. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on that bell notification button. All right, so you guys, are you cool with all of this? So let's go say hi to Chris and let's rock the world. On Diva on the Block, and I know everyone who's just watching is dying to know everything about The Bachelor, your retirement, you went in, you came back, you had recurring appearance for 5 times, right? And now everybody's dying to know what's your relationship status, where you stand with Katie, and don't get me wrong, I'm dying to know it too. I'm like one of the biggest Bachelor fans ever, and my husband hates it, so this is kind of my way to pull him into it. But we're gonna get into other things first, and I'm gonna pull up Chris Harisson. We're gonna hook you so that you stay until the end and find out all about the show. But there's a lot more into you than The Bachelor. Like, you're a full-on entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you're now invested in cryptocurrency. So I was just reading about it. This is super fascinating. So can you tell us, Chris, first of all, thank you so much for your time, for being on the show. And tell us, where did it all start?
Well, from a crypto side or just a business side in general?
Let's go from the business side, because it looks like that they were kind of parallel. Your Bachelor appearance and your business side were kind of parallel to each other. So how did it happen?
Yeah, so I went to school for hospitality and all that stuff, and I've always been interested in the hospitality space. And I went on the show for the first time in 2012, and I've always wanted to open my own restaurant. So before I actually got casted for the show, I was in the process of opening up my first restaurant out in Arlington, Virginia. And it just worked out perfectly that I was starting to get all this publicity from, the show airing and the restaurant opening. So it all kind of meshed together, and was able to get the place was packed, of course, when the show was airing and the doors were open. And
actually, let me ask you a question. Is that the reason why a lot of the contestants actually go on the show?
No, it was way different back then. I mean, this was in 2012. So for me, I was young. I was 25 at that point. So it's like, there's the whole social media aspect where, people are making money from social media, which is way easier than actually starting a real business.
Right.
So for me, I was always ambitious and wanted to open my own restaurant. And it obviously helped a lot from a marketing side and getting bodies in the door to have the publicity from the show. So yeah, I would say intentions were a lot more true back in the day, because money wasn't as easy to make from your time on the show as it is now. So I think you get a lot of people coming on the show now just for, the Instagram following and to monetize their,
Right. I mean, I
their
was
social
telling my
media.
husband, had I not been married when I started watching the show, I would have gone on The Bachelor. It would have been great for my business.
Oh, 100%. I mean, 100%. I mean, it's just a funnel of people, to drive to different, streams, whether it's a podcast or any kind of business that you have.
Right, absolutely. So then you went and you did 2012, did season 3, you did season 8. But in the meantime, you were also getting into different businesses, right?
Yeah. So, I opened up from the first restaurant, we opened up 2 more in the DC airports. So that was my main focus. And, over that time, did a lot of consulting work for a lot of startups, invested a little bit here and there. And then 2016 is when I finally got into Bitcoin. And it was by luck, but, sometimes you got to be lucky to get into things. And,
Oh, did you actually invest in 2016 before it started going up?
Yeah. So I had, I got in when it was at about $450. So I got pretty early. And luckily enough, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, with Bitcoin. So I couldn't figure out, I remember I had it on Bitpanda, which was a wallet. And I couldn't really figure out how to get it off. I was trying to cash it all out because, someone paid me in Bitcoin. I have no idea what this is. So I kind of got obsessed and I learned, about everything. And had I left it all in there, I left about half of it in there.
You'd have been a millionaire.
I know it would be worth a lot more, but no, it's, it was kind of just the start of me, getting extremely interested in Bitcoin. And then, that kind of poured over to blockchain.
What was the spark though?
And,
Because 2016 is when I got into Bitcoin as well, which is weird because they were like, oh my God, you wrote a book about Bitcoin and you just got into 2016. And it's true because in 2011, I heard about Bitcoin, but I was like, oh no, this is way too risky for me. I don't want to hear anything about it. Then I started, so this company actually paid me to do research and analysis about Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, wait, oh, this is cool. So that is 2016 when I started getting into it. So what was somebody paid you in Bitcoin and did you learn more about it? What was the obsession? What was the trigger?
Well, so I knew about Bitcoin, but of course it had kind of the, reputation of it being, used for black market stuff and it never really had anything.
Wait, did you buy a black market thing with Bitcoin?
No. I haven't done that. But no, someone's like, can I pay you in Bitcoin? I'm like, sure, why not?
Right.
So I left it there and just learning about how to get a digital wallet and how to take it off a wallet, how to turn it into cash, which I didn't do half of it. But I just kind of got so interested in it and then, went down this black hole of just research and, learning about it and then, talking to my friends about it and, asking questions about it. And I've been kind of obsessed with it ever since. So, I've definitely been involved in the crypto space and, I'm involved in little things here and there and, invest mostly just strictly in Bitcoin and, some other projects. Yeah, I love the community. It's very different.
It is. It's so different than any other community I've been involved in.
It's extremely different, and it's a lot different than most of the stuff that I've been involved in. So it's kind of interesting for me.
So is it only Bitcoin, or are you also interested in other kind of cryptocurrencies as well?
Yeah. So of course, during 2017's bull market, I started getting into altcoins, and everyone made a ton of money there. It was kind of hard to, I almost felt like I was moving the market when I was buying these altcoins. It's like, wow.
Oh, were you announcing that you're buying?
No, I wouldn't do that. I didn't do that. It just felt like it was so easy because you would put, a couple $1,000s in something and then, it's up.
Yeah.
And, then I wasn't really researching much about the project because, everything was awesome in theory back then with all these crazy market caps and valuations, which was out of control. But there were some projects I was interested in. I rode the ICX ship all the way to the top. I'm sure you're familiar with Icon. They're a Korean project and rode it all the way down too. So,
you didn't get out. Of course.
I got a little bit out, but I'm still interested in what they're doing over there. Keep track.
Are you still holding on though?
Still holding on to that one. So I have my holdings right now are Bitcoin, ICX, and the new Voyager coin, which used to be Ethos.
All
So I use
right.
I use their exchange for any purchasing right now for Bitcoin, and they just rebranded to VGX, which is now traded as VGX from
So right
Ethos.
now you actually have a startup. You're on board of advisors for Empire Hotels that actually
Yep.
accept crypto. Is that correct?
Yep.
So
Yeah. So yeah.
how did that happen? And is it again only Bitcoin, or do you accept other cryptocurrencies as well?
Yeah, so with all these like projects that I advise on, a lot of these people reach out to me because I have a bit of a following and I'm interested, obviously, in crypto. So and I have the hospitality background, and Empire was, it's a hotel app, built on the blockchain and accepts, crypto. So yeah, no, it accepts more outside of just Bitcoin. So yeah, I think that's the goal is to find a use case for all these coins, especially Bitcoin, because I think that's what actually drives the price up is people actually using it, because it seems like everyone just holds on to it.
Oh yeah, so Bitcoin is the granddaddy. Everybody loves it. But tell me a little bit more about Empire because I'm kind of curious. So what hotels are included in this? Can any hotel actually get involved in the Empire app?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Most of it's international right now, but yeah, anyone. It's kind of just to help the check-in process and just to kind of streamline from checking in to checking out, and kind of getting rewards for using the app.
All right. Okay. So yeah, so Bitcoin, as you were saying, is the one that everybody loves and everybody's holding. So what do you think? And I know like you are mainly on the side of actually investing and using cryptocurrency. So for you,
Mhm.
use cases should be super important. So why not Dash? Why not other payment cryptocurrencies? Why aren't you interested in those?
Um, I think I'll get more interested when some of these projects, you know, establish a use for a lot of these coins. I think there's like a lot of projects out there, and we learned the hard way, in the bear market after 2017, is that a lot of these projects that have raised so much money, no one's really even doing anything. I think a lot of crypto projects struggle when it comes to branding and to marketing properly. I think a lot of these projects are built strongly on the back end, but the front end looks like something you wouldn't put a penny into. So
Right. I
there's
mean,
so
there
many
are
projects.
some crypto advocates behind, like, for example, we got Charles Hoskinson advocating for Cardano. Then we got Roger Ver, both of whom actually were my guests on Diva on the Block. So Roger Ver in specific, and I wanted to ask you, I'm not sure if you're familiar, so Bitcoin Cash. So
Mhm.
he is like, okay, Bitcoin Cash works, Bitcoin doesn't.
Yeah,
And he tries his best to do the sales and the push and the marketing. And I mean, he actually gave me some Bitcoin Cash live and was like, oh, look how easy it is. Like, oh yeah, it is kind of easy. So do
right.
you think like the main thing when it comes to cryptocurrency acceptance really is the leadership and the marketing, as opposed to the actual usability and low costs
Yeah,
or
I think it
technology
comes.
behind it?
I think it comes to trust too. It's like I'm sure a lot of these coins and these projects have use cases, but it's like, do you trust it? There's all these dollars being put into things, but if it doesn't look friendly and it's not user friendly, it's a lot of people aren't going to use it. I know I won't. But again, like there could be projects that look great on the front end, but there's nothing going on the back end. So
Right.
honestly, I think 98% of these things aren't really where they need to be. I think they're trying, but I think we're still years away from a lot of these projects, having actual use.
Right. And the matter of the fact is Bitcoin is the only one that like you can't print more of. The
Mhm.
other projects are kind of like venture capitalists trying to print their own money, whereas Bitcoin can't actually compete with the US dollar because it's different. It's completely different. There's nobody
It's a
behind
store
it.
of
You
value.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I mean, I constantly add to Bitcoin, even if every week, even if it's a couple $100 there. I look at it as more of a long-term investment. So far, so good, and so I just keep adding to
Actually,
Bitcoin.
I have to put a disclaimer here. None of the things viewers at home that we're suggesting here are investing advice. These are
No,
just
no investing
our
advice.
opinion.
Right,
we are
right.
we are only expressing our opinion about the markets, and I'm in the same boat with you. And back in 2017, 2008, when I was writing the book, I became very interested in some projects like Ripple and Ethereum, and they were
Hmm.
interesting. And I had a very diversified portfolio that I'm still holding on to. But after that, in the past year, it's been like, you know what? Marketing, it's like the US dollar. So why do people trust the US dollar? It's because of the marketing behind it. Otherwise, the paper does not have any value other than the
Right.
message that is conveying. And I feel like the same goes with Bitcoin, because people may not have heard of cryptocurrency, but they have heard of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So that is how valuable the brand name of Bitcoin is. And that is the reason why I believe, even if it's not really there technologically, according to a lot of the people in the field, at least it has the branding. So what is next for you? So you are involved in so many different things, and Bitcoin is kind of the center of it, but you also have a dating app. You're a have a dating app, or you're an advisor?
Yeah, so the dating app is sold overseas. The Catch, I was involved with that a few years ago. Right now, outside of my restaurants and all that stuff, I have a digital agency that we focus a lot on web design, app design, and development, search engine marketing, all that stuff, based out of Santa Monica. So that's probably my main focus right now. Which was, kind of started as a hobby and kind of turned into a business, which is pretty cool. And so, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna now draw the line and get back to The Bachelor. Is the reason why you and Katie don't post that many photos together is because you're super busy, or something else is going on in the in the back scene?
I like to keep things kind of private. Obviously, it's weird to say that since we met on such a public platform. But there's a lot of stuff that can deter you, even if you try to ignore some of the noise, from like public notoriety. So we just try to kind of focus in on our relationship rather than throwing it everything out there, for everyone to have an opinion about. So that was kind of, actually, it's really helpful for us to kind of focus in on ourselves and us as a relationship as well.
The thing is, I can only imagine. Like, I go to Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and they say, if they say something with, like, we get to, oh, like, your husband said this that way, and that
Mhm.
triggers me, and we get into a huge fight afterwards just for one sentence of someone. I can only imagine, like, how social media can just, like, you can get triggered. Oh, look who said this about you, and it should
It's
be.
brutal. I
It's
mean, people are they're mean before they're nice, unfortunately,
They are,
especially
because
us.
it's easy. It's super
Right.
easy. And I mean, I can, because I'm starting to get a taste of it. Like, people like going, pretending to be me or saying bad things about me. And I'm like, how do people on reality TV do it? Like, I can't
Right.
understand how you guys do it, because it's just, oh, I wouldn't be able to cope. But I mean, I think at one point you just like start blocking
You
over.
start to, yeah, like I've done it for so long, so it's easier for me to kind of
You
block
are
it out.
the veteran.
Right. Exactly. So, for Katie, it was her kind of first time around with all this publicity and stuff. So it's tough. You take even, you know, you'll never meet these people, but any negativity about yourself, I mean, it hurts to read stuff like that,
Right.
or, about yourself, your family, or, your friend. It's just tough to read, regardless if someone's not saying it to your face.
Right. And the fact is, I feel like people who watch TV, sometimes they forget that you are real people.
Right.
And you are a real person. And here you are, like, you're real, you're here in your sweater,
Yeah,
sweatshirt,
just a
and
hoodie, in
we're
this
just
room with a
chatting.
white
And
wall. Yeah.
yeah, you're an actual human being with real feelings. So, okay, you and Katie are fine. Is it safe to say that, though? Because I feel
Yeah,
like,
we're good. We're good. We're just busy, and we have, total different careers. So, and I travel a lot. She's out in LA, and like currently I'm in Chicago, so I'm all over the place.
right. Oh my God. So add long distance to it, and that will make things even more complicated.
Yeah.
And will we see you again in any of Bachelor franchise?
And you can never say never.
I know, because you
Um,
said it back in 2016 and you came back.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's there's always something that kind of pulls me back, because there's a lot of good that comes from it, and a lot of the experience is unbelievable, and obviously there's a lot of bad that comes from it too. But it just kind of became part of my life. I literally did it this whole decade, from 2012 till
Oh my God.
2019. So it's a whole decade of TV, and it's fun. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it at all. But I think it's time to, you know, be done with it.
It's kind of time to grow up. It's time to focus the energy on crypto. Are there any other Bachelor franchise members who are into crypto or like finance at all?
Yeah, definitely a lot of guys in finance. Some guys into crypto. It's funny because, you know, when we're filming Paradise, we don't have our phones or news or TV or any of that. So I think when I left for Paradise in early June, Bitcoin was around, I think, 6K. And while I was gone, the whole Libra thing came out and Bitcoin kind of pumped up to 12 grand. So I was asking, you know, one of the handlers who had their phone every morning for the Bitcoin price, and it was going up like every day. I was like, holy crap, this is great. You know, I'm filming the show, I'm making money, Bitcoin's going up, things are awesome, you know? So
that's so funny.
Yeah, so maybe I should go back on the show so we can get Bitcoin back up to, you know, 12,000.
I know, no, but 12,000, no. We want a lot higher, a lot higher.
No, I think end of next year will be much higher.
So what is your anticipation when it comes to Bitcoin?
You know, I think it's definitely gonna, you know, as you said, supply, you know, we have the halving coming next year. I think leading up to it, I think we'll see definitely a price rise. I don't think we'll ever see this alt market that we saw in 2017. But, you know, I'm okay with Bitcoin going up. I think that's where all the value's at. And so I'm not gonna make any predictions, but I could see, you know, a 3-4x from here.
Right. Okay. So that is some heartwarming forecast from Chris Bukowski right over here.
Not a professional, just a regular guy with hopes and dreams.
You are a regular guy with power, though, because when you say this, people are going to be watching. Like right now, you're accessing a whole different audience with crypto. Like we have people who are Bachelor Nation fans and are also like, oh, let me see, what's Chris talking about? What is this Bitcoin? So you might actually be able to create a whole movement around Bitcoin. So
hey,
I would encourage you to do that.
Awareness. Definitely. No, I talk about it as much as I can. I'm in this group. I just joined a few weeks ago. My buddy started. It's called Simple Stocks, and we just talk crypto and stocks and everything just all day. It's a great community, and we're just adding more and more people to it every day. And I talk about Bitcoin. Like I love this. Like I'd rather do this than like do an interview with, you know, Us Weekly or, you know, about reality TV. I'd rather talk about. Yeah,
we'll crop this out and post it on social.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. I can talk about this stuff all day.
Right. I mean, so and that's the reason why I created this show anyway, because like you can get the problem with anything serious like finance or crypto is that people who talk about it, they try to talk about it in a very non-fun way. And that was a turnoff for me when I got onto Wall Street. That's the reason why I started Investivo, was because I was like, okay, this needs to be fun. This needs to be everyday talk, because money is this is your everyday life anyway. And that's why we created this show, Diva On the Block, just to chat with people and see what they think and who are these people who are talking about Bitcoin and crypto. So yeah, I'm really hopeful for this interview to gain a lot of energy of people who are watching Bachelor and Bachelor franchise and like, hey, Chris is into crypto. Maybe I should go find out about it. So that should be cool. Again, thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. And people at home, I really, really hope that you enjoyed this interview. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Follow Chris on social media. We have his Twitter up on his head, I believe, Twitter handle and Instagram, and I believe you're all over the place. I think people know how to find you anyway.
Definitely.
But again, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you again in the next episode of Diva on the Block.
Thank you.
I asked my guests to make a silly face so we can use for the thumbs.
A silly face?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do it.
So which of my silly? I don't even know what my silly face is.
A silly face is like.
All right, I'll do. All right, ready?
Oh, that's the best silly face. That's an Einstein silly face, isn't it? Hey, hold on. The correct way to pronounce your last name is Bukowski.
That's how you say it in Polish. That's actually really good. Yeah, it's Bukowski.
You are Polish?
Yeah.
I went to Poland.
Oh, nice.
I had one of my ex-boyfriends was Polish. Do you speak Polish?
I understand it pretty well. I'm first generation, so most of my family speaks it, but I'm like kind of.
Where in Poland?
Zakopane, so southern Poland.
So I went to Vistula, which is southern part as well. Is that like close to where you are?
Yeah, close. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Very cool. All right. So, and I actually know one of the hardest words to pronounce in Polish. It's
What's that?
chrząszcz.
What does that mean?
It means cockroach or something, but it's apparently one of the hardest words to say.
It's a good one to know.
I know. It's very important.